Where's he going? He's going back the wrong way. This is Pittsburgh. Mini touch now, I guess.
Once again, please make sure your email confirmation and/or ticket receipt is out, as we will be checking it here in just a few moments.
Around you, ladies and gentlemen, is not just for show. Right now, you're passing through a working railroad. These tracks help us transport lumber, grain, steel, and biofuels to regional businesses. But there was a time when you didn't hear our steam whistle at all. By 1937, our rails and equipment were in bad shape. With no one to manage operations, it looked like our story was about to end. Our rescue would come a year later when 24 dedicated railroad buffs decided to put down their own money, time, and labor to save this short line from abandonment. Every nickel of profit was put back into the railroad. Steam railroading has become a specialty here in Strasburg. Our mechanical shop, located to your running right, is nationally recognized for their expertise in steam locomotive repair and restoration, and we're proud to say that has benefited heritage railroads and museums all over the country. But we're most proud to have that talent used right here, where we rekindle a love of old-time railroading. the oldest railroad rights of way in the entire world. It's located right here in the heart of Lancaster County. It all began in 1832 when the Pennsylvania legislature chartered the Strasburg Railroad, allowing the construction of this 4.5 miles of track that we call a short line. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what allowed this piece of Pennsylvania Dutch country to connect with the mighty Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad. That locomotive allowed to burn up to a half-ton of coal in this road trip, all hand shoveled by our fire crew to the 2,000-degree firebox. It's exactly that kind of hard work and backbone that's helped this railroad survive more than a few hard turns. We've weathered many storms in our time, but we've come a long way, and we're happy to share that legacy with you today. Oh, in case you're wondering about the speed of our trains, the oldest timetable we've ever found for our short line was in the Strasburg newspaper dated August of 1852. We still follow that same basic schedule today, so I can tell you that we're traveling at a comfortable speed that's under 60 miles per hour. Way under 60 miles per hour. Preparing one of our steam engines for their daily service is not as simple as turning the ignition key. A coal locomotive can take up to 6 hours to fire up properly. This is done by gradually raising the temperature inside the firebox to increase steam pressure in the boiler. It's a process known as hustling. Our staff will also provide a full inspection of the locomotive, lubricate a multitude of moving parts, and ensure the tender is filled with enough coal and water for the day's journey. can tell you that I sure do. You see, many years ago, in the valley to your running right, there used to be a narrow gauge railroad, the Lancaster and Philadelphia. We used to call her Little Old and Slow. The railroad was abandoned in 1918, and the scrappers took up the rail so quickly that they stranded old number 6 out on the line with no way to get back. Sometimes when we blow our whistle for Carpenter's Crossing, the ghost of old number 6 will answer us back. Now, listen closely. Maybe she'll answer us today.
Well, folks, looks like that ghost is out there today. She certainly answered to us. That's no echo, though. She's paid $25 a day just blowing its whistle for us.
Visitors aside, at the top of the hill to your running left is Carpenter's Graveyard, one of Lancaster County's oldest cemeteries. Behind those gates is where one of our first settlers was laid to rest, an 18th century French Huguenot named Marie Curie. After fleeing their native France to avoid religious persecution, Marie and a small group of followers had given an audience with Queen Anne, thanks to an English philosopher, Quaker, and lifetime advocate of religious freedom, William Penn. They were granted 2.5 square miles of land and arrived here in 1712, and the name they gave their new home was Paradise.
Friends, right now we're approaching Strasburg's one and only bridge, the Pumpkinville Turnpike Bridge. If you don't mind, we'll ask you to lift up your feet. It takes the much-needed weight off these cars as we cross. This bridge replaced an older one to accommodate the railroad's growing stream of incoming freight traffic. Actually, the real reason that the bridge was replaced was due to the Amish farmer's complaints about his mules scraping their sides and hitting their heads. The bridge is now more than 6 mules wide and high enough that the mules no longer need to wear safety helmets.
original route of the Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad, which became part of the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1857. Where the white buildings stand today once stood Henry Levin's Hotel. Believe it or not, in the earliest days of railroading, railroad cars and carriages were pulled by horses. Henry Levin would supply fresh horses for the trains and refreshments for passengers. The interchange track on the running right is used to deliver freight cars off the main line into our East Strasburg yard, where shipments are offloaded to trucks for local delivery. The most famous delivery to come through Lemon Place arrived on February 22nd, 1861, when President-elect Abraham Lincoln made a short stop in Lancaster County on the way to his Washington inauguration. Thousands gathered around these tracks just to see a glimpse of Mr. Lincoln, who stepped out, faced the crowd, and said,
I've come to see you and let you see me. I believe I have the better of the bargain.
The crowd was equally enthusiastic to see Mary Todd Lincoln. When she stepped out and stood beside her much taller husband, Lincoln elegantly quipped,
Now you can see the long and short of it.
Sadly, in 1865, one of the train passed through Lemon Place, but in the opposite direction, this one carrying President Lincoln's body after his untimely death at the hands of John Wilkes Booth.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like everything was good with our brakes. Our next stop now will be Gross Grove.
It's an encampment that teachers call the jungle or a hobo camp. The ground is their bedstead. They would gather at the camps and hop in freight cars, migrating the countryside for whatever odd jobs they could find. They had their own set of rules and used a symbolic code to give directions or warnings for those in the Brotherhood. You can still find them today, some 20,000 around the country. It's a hand-to-mouth way of life that's just as risky as the redline days, especially on the trains. If you're caught, you're not going to be welcome.
That's how are they? It's a new Dutch. There are 21 working farms along this route, and they've been owned by Amish families. You'd be surprised if you saw more than one horse-drawn buggy everywhere to visit our railroad today. There's about 32,000 Amish people in the eastern half of this region. Their German and Swiss ancestors immigrated to Pennsylvania as early as the 18th century. Now we practice a simple life. Pennsylvania Dutch country is the fertile farmland of the plain. Fit, hard work, and limited reliance on other communities. The average Amish farm is about 80 acres in size. These dairy cattle provide produce of corn, wheat, rye, soybean, barley, and famous in Lancaster County bottling tobacco. But don't think they stop at farming. There are more than 2,000 Amish-owned businesses in this area, and they earn their income from carpentry, painting, plumbing, and masonry. Hobo is the center of all Amish communities. Even church services, which can have as many as 200 people, are held inside Amish homes. We do get a lot of questions about our peaceful, hardworking neighbors. Believe me, they are integral to the heritage vitality of our community. Where they live a separate lifestyle, they are very much involved in the local economy and public functions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently approaching our next stop, Cross Grove. At this time, if you wish to get out the grove, please gather all your belongings and try to find one of the trainmen accordingly. We will not be stopped here for very long, so again, please make sure you find a trainer to get off on the train safely. Do not get off anywhere where there's not trainmen. Box Grove. Approaching Box Grove. At this time, if you're getting off the grove, please find one of the trainmen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, this is the final call for the Grove. Final call for Grouse Grove.
I think they go down there, right down there. Oh, that way, yeah. I can't make out. I think the other train comes back. Oh. Yeah, they at least have to get the last train that goes, or else they're stuck there. Gotcha. Well, that's not good. So they stay at home. Yeah. Yeah. That's a long time to do. Yeah. So I guess there's a playground. True.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you are in your seats again, as we are now going to be heading to our final destination, East Strasburg Station. So at this time, sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the sights and smells of steam locomotiving, and enjoy your journey here back to East Strasburg Station.
They serve it at 10 a.m. in the morning. They have it. Ask that question. Also, you might need to drive. Okay, amazing. Okay, all right, let's see. All right. We are gonna walk around. Okay, then there's my only foot. There's my only. You want to go down? I told you.
We're closing in on our return to Strasburg, so I would encourage you to take a good look outside, because that's a view one stop short of heaven. Today you've traveled through 2,500 acres of beautiful Lancaster County farmland. You'll notice the garden spot because of our naturally rich soil and remain the most productive, non-irrigated farmland in the United States. There's also a fair share of livestock on this farm, as I'm sure you can now hear. Each year, our farmers produce chicken for 3.6 million people, eggs for 9 million people, and milk for 10.6 million people. Anyone want to take a guess as to how many cows are working in the average dairy farm? If you guess less than 40, you're low. An average Lancaster dairy farm has 65 cows and uses up to 1 million gallons of water. These rich pastures are very important to all of us. Lancaster County maintains one of the best farmland preservation programs in the United States. There are about 80,000 acres of these hardwood belts protected, and we're proud to do our part by supporting Lancaster Farmland Trust. We want the next generation to enjoy these sights and sounds, just as we hope you have today.
Now go around. Go around.
tank engine, along with good friends Percy and Sir Topham Hatt. They pay us a visit 3 times a year to be little engineers and treat them to a special train ride. Be sure to check our events calendar for with Thomas the Tank Engine and other unique events held at the Strasburg Railroad.
Destination of East Strasburg Station. At this time, we would like to each and every one of you for coming out today and supporting our railroad. Without you, none of this would be possible. At this time, please remain in your seats until you come to a full and complete stop inside the station. Once again, we will give you directions on which way to exit. Before you head out today, I highly recommend checking out the Railroading Museum across the street, featuring all different locomotives from different eras. But if you do decide to have your car right away after taking a train ride with us today, please make sure to do the following and stop, look, and listen. Thank you all again so much for coming to visit us today, and we hope we'll see you again soon. Because after all, folks, taking the train is sure is a lot safer than flying or driving. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and we hope we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark. For the rest of your day. Thanks for riding this, guys, for the rest of your day.
Well, folks, this is our last stop for this train. It's Strasburg Station. I hope you enjoy this journey on America's oldest short line. Be sure to take some time to talk with our railroad staff. Our conductors, engineers, and redcaps are always happy to share their expertise and answer your questions. And before you leave us today, I'd recommend paying a visit to our gift shops and cafe. On behalf of all of us here at Strasburg, we thank you for taking the time to visit and share our love of old-time railroading in beautiful Lancaster County.
Would you ride parlor again? Next time we wanted to try land. Oh. Now I'm being at one end of the train. Yeah.
This is amazing. This is the best thing